I've driven through nearly every state in the US, hauling everything from fresh produce to furniture. You get used to the empty roads, late night static on the radio, and that hum of the tires against the asphalt. But nothing prepared me for what happened on Route 90 in Montana, right near mile marker 313. It was late November, cold, dry air, not much traffic out that night. I'd picked up a load in Spokane and was headed toward Billings. I'd been on the road for almost 10 hours, eyes heavy, so I pulled into a rest area to stretch my legs. It was one of those isolated pull-offs. No lights, no vending machines, no other trucks. Just a single picnic table, a flickering street lamp, and the trees lining the highway like silent sentinels. I shut off the engine and climbed out. As I walked around the rig, I noticed something odd. There was a man standing at the edge of the trees, just outside the light's reach. He didn't move, didn't step forward or wave. He was just there. I watched him for a moment, thinking maybe he was just a fellow driver taking a break. But there was something off. His stance was too stiff. His head tilted slightly like he was listening, but he didn't move at all. I called out, "You good, buddy?" No answer, just silence. Then the street lamp buzzed louder and went out. I froze. It was pitch black. The only sound was the wind through the trees and the faint creak of the picnic bench behind me. I turned to look. Someone was sitting there now, but no one had walked past me. I bolted for the truck, climbed in, locked the doors, and fired the engine back up. My headlights cut through the darkness, and for a split second, I swear, I saw a face in the side mirror. Pale, grinning. But when I turned, nothing was there, just trees. I didn't stop again. I pushed straight through the night. But about 10 miles down the road, I passed mile marker 313 again. That's when my blood ran cold. I'd already passed it before I pulled off. I should have been at 323 by then. Confused, I checked my GPS. It was frozen. The time hadn't changed. No signal. Just a blank map and a spinning wheel. My radio crackled suddenly, cutting through the silence. A voice whispered, "You never left." I slammed the dash and killed the radio, heart pounding. I was wide awake now, hands shaking on the wheel. And then, I saw the same rest area again, same picnic bench, same flickering light, same man, standing at the edge of the trees. I had been driving in a circle. I didn't stop again, I just floored it. Eventually, the GPS flickered back to life, and the next exit took me to a truck stop packed with other drivers. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat under the fluorescent lights, engine idling, waiting for the sun. I've never taken Route 90 again, and I never will.
I've been a trucker for nearly a decade. Night driving doesn't bother me. I actually prefer it. Roads are clearer, radio's all mine, and there's something peaceful about the hum of the engine under the stars. But one night last year changed that forever. It was late November. I was hauling a load through northern Arizona, headed east on Interstate 40. The route was quiet, pitch black except for my headlights cutting through the cold. Around 2:30 a.m., I passed mile marker 239, a stretch I'd driven dozens of times before. But this time, something felt off. I couldn't place it at first. The road looked the same. No weird weather, no mechanical issues. Just that strange, crawling feeling that crept up the back of my neck like I was being watched. You ever felt that? Like your instincts are trying to warn you before your brain catches up? So I turned down the radio and sat up straighter. That's when I saw her. A woman, walking along the shoulder, alone, barefoot, in a white nightgown, soaked at the hem like she'd walked through water. She didn't even look at my truck as I passed, just stared straight ahead with this hollow expression, pale as bone. I slowed down. I couldn't leave someone out there in the cold, but by the time I glanced in my rear view, she was gone. No sign of her. I pulled over, heart pounding, flipped on my hazards, and walked back with a flashlight. Nothing. Just desert and highway, not even footprints in the dirt. I stood there, confused, and a little freaked out, when my radio suddenly crackled to life. Just static at first. Then I heard a whisper, a woman's voice. "You're going the wrong way." I froze. Then silence, like the radio had never turned on. Now I was spooked. I sprinted back to the cab and got back on the road. I figured maybe I was tired. Maybe it was a trick of the light and my mind playing games. That's what I told myself, until I hit mile marker 239 again. Yeah, again. I'd been driving straight for over 20 minutes, and I ended up back at the same spot. I even checked the GPS. It glitched for a moment, then corrected itself, like it had been stuck. My heart dropped. There, on the shoulder again. The same woman, standing in the same spot, same blank stare, same wet nightgown. I didn't slow down this time. I pressed the gas, white-knuckling the wheel, whispering prayers I hadn't said since I was a kid. Finally, after what felt like hours, the road changed. I passed mile marker 240, then 241. Normalcy resumed. But I didn't feel normal. I didn't talk about that night for months. Who would believe me? But last week I stopped at a diner in Flagstaff. Another trucker was talking about a ghost hitchhiker on 239. Same description, same voice on the radio. And he said this: "She appears to the ones who won't make it home." I haven't driven that route since. I've driven trucks for nearly 15 years. You get used to the isolation, the long nights, the static on the radio. But one night still sticks in my memory like a splinter I can't dig out. It happened on Route 47, a narrow two-lane highway that winds through the forests of West Virginia. Locals say the road has a history, accidents, disappearances. I never paid much attention, until the night I learned why. It was just past 2 a.m. I was hauling a refrigerated load eastbound. No traffic, no towns for miles, just trees and fog so thick it swallowed my high beams. That's when I saw her. A girl, barefoot in a white dress, walking along the shoulder. I slowed down. She looked maybe 19, early 20s. Pale skin, long black hair, arms wrapped around herself like she was freezing. Her dress was soaked at the bottom, dragging in the gravel. She didn't flag me down, didn't even glance at the truck, just kept walking. Something felt wrong, but I pulled over anyway, rolled down the window and called out, "You okay? Need a ride?" No answer. I put the truck in park and got out, leaving the engine idling. But when I looked around, she was gone. Nowhere. No footprints, no movement, just silent woods and swirling fog. I felt that gut-deep kind of fear, the kind that's more instinct than emotion. I jumped back into the cab, locked the doors, and drove. That should have been the end of it. But 5 minutes later, I saw her again. Walking. Same pace, same posture, same soaking dress. Exactly the same. There was no way she could have gotten ahead of me. I hadn't stopped. I hadn't turned around. Have you ever seen something your brain can't explain, and it just freezes? Like your mind refuses to accept what your eyes are showing you. That was me. I kept driving, but then my CB crackled to life, though I hadn't touched it all night. Through the static, I heard a voice, a girl's whisper. "You should have stopped." My blood ran cold. I yanked the cord out of the radio. Silence. Then the truck lights dimmed. Not flickered. Dimmed, like the batteries were draining, even though the engine was running fine. I glanced in the side mirror, and nearly drove off the road. She was there, on my trailer, standing, barefoot, hands pressed to the glass of the sleeper window. Her eyes were completely black. I slammed the brakes and skidded onto the shoulder, heart racing. When I finally got the nerve to step out and look, no one was there. Not on the trailer, not on the road, not in the woods, but on the dusty back door of my rig, written with a fingertip. Next time, stop.
If that sent a chill down your spine, wait till you hear what happened when a guy discovered his roommate never actually existed. Click here to watch 3 true scary night shift stories. You won't sleep the same after.